Yeah, use a couple more, I think. But no, excited about Patrick. Dynamic athlete, three-sport star there at White House, big-time major league prospect in baseball, and is a winner. You watch him play, and he willed his team to victories over and over. 6'3", 220, very athletic, great extended plays, big-time arm, and really think he's just scratching the surface with having played different sports throughout the year, and he really focuses on football the majority of the time. I think you can really see him take off that position.
So do you anticipate that he would probably be a freshman backup?
I would assume that, yes. Yeah, and he's of that mindset. We told him get ready to come in. It's a unique situation. We have one scholarship quarterback on the roster, and be ready to come in and compete and play right away.
Kliff, does the MLB situation concern you at all?
It does, because you see him in person. He's a big, impressive kid, and I think he's just going to get bigger and stronger and faster. And with his dad having that history of being a professional player, it does. But we'll see how it shakes out. I know he wants to come to college, but you never know how that money's going to be.
Would you be open sharing him with Tech baseball if he decided to play college?
Yeah,
baseball?
definitely. I think James Winston proved that that's a pretty good fit. So we would do great with that.
Did you do enough to shore up your defense to try and stop the bleeding on the ground?
I hope so. I think, in the bowl game, I thought they had a good plan in place, and I thought having D'Artois back really helped that line up front. We signed 4 junior college defensive linemen to come in right away and expect them to have an immediate impact. And so that was a big focus of this class, was shoring up that defensive line.
Can you talk a little bit more about that and the decision to bring in so many JUCO players to help out right away?
Yeah, just more needs than anything. We graduated a bunch of those D linemen and thought that was an area we had to get better at right away. And one of them's here on campus, Keelan McElrath, and the other ones are coming this summer. And big impact players, bigger bodies than we had last year, just initially. And they have to prove to be good players, but we're excited about the potential.
How are you feeling about your wide receiver class? Got a lot of wide receivers in there trying to get the program going with the offense.
Yeah, we lost, Jace, and you lose Eric Ward, and so you want to try and get some more bodies in there. We got a bunch of good skill coming back, but some high quality young guys. Jakar Diller's a guy who has more size than we've had on the outside. You got Ian Sadler, who's in the Wes Welker mode, very impressive guy that dominated it at the high school level. Cameron Babson's valedictorian of his class there in Oklahoma City, and very quick, very shifty, Jakeem Grant type mold. And then Byron Davis is a guy who has been very productive down in San Antonio and has a chance to be a really good player.
You anticipate some of these defensive backs coming in and making an impact right away?
I think so. That's why they're rolling. Josh Keys is on campus already at safety, and some of these younger corners are more developed than guys we've seen in the past physically. And so if they can pick up our system and adjust the speed of the game, I'd expect them to help us.
Did you get the size on the offensive line?
Yeah, we brought in 2 junior college kids that we think can come in and start right away and play for us, and then a couple high school kids big kids that have to adjust to our schemes to be able to make that impact. But they play the way we like. They play hard and mean, and that's what we were trying to improve upon it from.
Could you talk a little bit about the process this year versus last year, having the time to kind of go out and get your game plan together?
Yeah, completely different. Last year, we were scrambling to try and put a class together that really had fallen apart with the way the departure went. And so this year we had a year to get to know those kids and build relationships and really feel good about the character of this class. High character kids, on and off the field, and good players.
Coach, what does Rico Levi bring to your program?
He's going to be a different mold than we've had at that position. He's a run stopper who's agile enough to rush the passer, 350 pounds. When he was on his visit here, he was ripping phone books in front of us, so kind of intimidating for other players. But he's a special player and a big gift for us, and a leader on and off the field. I think Texas Tech fans are going to love his personality, the energy he brings, and huge gift for us.
Are y'all done with this class, or are there a couple more guys out there you're still wanting to try and bring in?
Pretty much wrapped up. There can always be an exception later on as this goes on past signing day, but I would say we're pretty wrapped up.
Seems like there weren't that many surprises. Was there anybody kind of down the stretch that y'all really had a fight for that came through today that y'all really celebrated?
No, like
specifically,
you said, I didn't think there were many surprises. I thought most of these kids, like I said, they're high quality, good character kids, and they committed to us and wanted to be here. They're all excited about being here. So that's what happens when you have a year to prepare, get to know them, and build that relationship.
Was there anyone on the list that was maybe more excited when they got the offer than you guys were when they said yes?
I don't know. They all seem pretty excited. I think that's a good thing. They got to know each other. With social media now, the interactions, they get to know each other through that, and so it's been a fun class to work with. A bunch of good kids that want to be here.
How much easier was it this year selling to the kids? You have 11 games, 13 games on film. You can show them and say, hey, this is what we're doing. How much easier was that for you this year?
I think it was just understanding the process more and our staff being together and having a year to research and do those things. They saw our product on the field, and especially ending with the momentum we did in that bowl game. It's a quality team. I think they see the future's bright and what we're about. And when we get them to Lubbock, they usually have a great time. Our players do a great job showing them the community. The community's always been behind Tech, and so it's just a matter of getting them there.
How satisfied are you with putting your mark on the program, your first real recruiting class that you've spent an entire year preparing for?
I feel good about it. Like I said, more of the character than anything. Good kids, they're going to change the culture of this place, play hard, do the right thing on and off the field, and that's what we're about here. So we're excited about that.
I know you had a lot of your core already, but how big or not was the Holiday Bowl win as far as kind of rounding out the class?
I think it was big. Just at the end of that, people start trying to swoop in, and it happens everywhere in the country. And just to show, hey, this is the direction we're heading in, and this is what we can do when we play well. I think kids enjoyed that and think the future's bright there.
Do you anticipate Ian Sadler to play immediately?
I do. He's, he hates to say the Wes Welker mold, but has the same elite level soccer background that Wes had, and very similar in persona, and does some things that look a lot like him. So we expect him to come and contribute right away.
He has the impression that he's going to come here and rugby punt some. Is that something he can do right away?
Yeah, he did it all for them, so we'll see.
How about Nigel Bethel? You talk about his potential to play right away and how big a get he was for you then.
Yeah, that was huge. Coach Curtis developed that relationship early and really worked at it. And we brought him in. He loved the atmosphere. He loved the community. He loved the game day. And he's a big-time player. I mean, that type of speed we don't have on our team right now. And very tough kid, very savvy, and we think has a great future ahead of him.
Are there any that got away from you that you're really disappointed?
We don't talk about those. No, I think we landed the class we wanted. And I think it complements very well what we have in place, and we just have to develop them and keep them.
If the number of defensive backs that you took, obviously that was more the positions that you took the most people. Did you were wanting to build depth, or is that?
We did. We want to build depth, and a big part of that was improving our special teams play as well. We need bodies on special teams to cover kicks. We didn't think we did that very well. Return kicks, and so that was part of our thing as well as defensively.
When you consider who you were competing with school-wise with Josh Keys, what do you think pushed him over the edge to sign with you?
I think Coach Haverty built a great relationship with him, showed him how we were using our defense, and had a great plan for that, and then just stuck with him and helped him academically as far as what he had to do to get in on time and be here. And so, yeah, I would say the relationship with Coach Haverty more than anything.
Anything else?
Yeah.
DeMarcus Felton, didn't seem like he didn't get quite talked about quite as much as Stockton.
He doesn't, but if you look at the production, he is a big-time player. I mean, he had thousands of yards rushing and tough, and they hand it to him 40 times a game. And very durable. Another kid that's going to help us on special teams immediately. And doesn't get all the praise that Justin does, but is a very good player, and we're excited about him.
You're switching Michael Coley from offense to defense. Do you anticipate that being a 1 or 2 year project before he gets a lot of playing time?
No, I think he has a chance to play right away. He played corner in high school as well. Just most people recruit him as a wide receiver. And he wants to play corner. 6'3", very fast kid, runs a 21.5, 200. Very mature, really good kid. And so we think with his frame and the way he's built, he has a chance to come in and contribute.
Satisfying to see Devin Lauderdale here after the miss last year.
Yeah, had great reports, from Davis standing out there throwing and says that he can fly. So he's what we needed as far as somebody that can take the top off of it. So we're excited to get him in the mix.
You're playing him on the outside.
That's what we think going to spring ball, and that can always change, but that's what we would anticipate.
Can you talk about how you found Tevin Madison?
Another one that Coach Curtis found loved his film, and you know, he had a bunch of stuff going early. He got hurt, and we hung with him through the process. But he's another guy who played slot, played DB, has great hands, great ball skills, very quick, and a really good kid. And loved Texas Tech from day one that he got here. He's from Alabama, but just loved the atmosphere, loved the coaches, and he's hung with us the entire time.
Cliff, you talk about Coach Shep Rainey, how he helped you guys down the stretch, junior college-wise out in California?
Yeah, Coach Chev, come from Riverside out there in California. We signed a tackle from his school and another kid from Mount Sac, Shad Davis. We expected both to play right away. Those were huge gets for us. He did a great job in his transition, being able to work those relationships, and that was big.
What about Mahomes do you think really makes him stand out? I saw a few clips of how he manages to extricate himself from difficult situations.
Yeah.
Is he good on his feet as well?
That's what I would say is his biggest deal, is just being able to extend the play. He reminds me of the guy coaching A&M, just with that ability. He keeps his eyes downfield, everything's bringing down, still can see downfield and find receivers downfield. And like I said, I don't think he's tapped out at all. I still think, the football side of it, hasn't worked it as much just because he plays all the other sports. So I think when we really refine his mechanics and get him in our offense, I think the sky's the limit.
And that guy that was juggling.
It was. It worked out for him.
Luke, would you expect Mahomes to be your number 2 behind Davis, or would you like to redshirt him and get a year's gap between him and Davis?
No, I think he's going to have to come in and play right away, and he knows that. He wants to do that, and we'll see. Situationally, if that's something we can do, we'd like to redshirt him if he's not ready to play. But if he's ready to play, we're going to get him in, get him going. We'll let him compete in fall camp and see how it shakes out.
Coach, if Michael Starks wanted to come back, would that door be open, or is that door closed?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody told me that there was tweeting about that. I think he needs to handle his business academically first, and we'll see where that's at from there. But I'd have to sit down with him and have that talk.
Coach, talk about the high school safeties coming in, Dixon, Hendricks, and Johnson. Just what do you see out of each of those guys? You think we might see one of them this year?
I think we'll see all of them. Like I said, we brought a bunch of bodies in to play special teams and defense, and so even if they're not starting on defense, I expect them to play a lot of special teams. And, Dixon is a kid, just a ball hawk, caused I think 10 fumbles his junior year, something like that. Always around the football. Peyton's a long safety, big time guy. Had a bunch of offers that really come downhill and hit you. And then Jay Sean's a little undersized for most people, but dominated the games he was in. Any of those coaches you ask around the DFW area just rave about the type of player he is.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, what stands out about Cameron Batson? Obviously, he's a valedictorian and Gatorade State Player of the Year. Are there unique qualities about him?
Yeah, just very elusive. You watch him on film. He plays corner, he plays quarterback, he can play receiver. He can do a little bit of everything, kick returner. But very elusive, very quick, great basketball player, great athlete, and mentally one of the more mature high school kids I've ever been around.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.